Investigators had followed every rule. Every lead was checked. Every location was searched. But Tyson was still missing. Then came a tip, one no one expected. It didn't come from technology or evidence, but from an unusual source that challenged everything investigators believed. Could this lead really matter? And why did it change the direction of the case? Imagine the terrifying moment a family realizes their child is missing. No phone call, no message, just silence. Every second stretches longer than the last. But what if a voice unseen, unheard by others, whispered a hidden truth? Tonight, we begin an unbelievable story. A disappearance, a town running out of answers, and a psychic tip that no one expected. Can you truly believe the impossible? Riverbend, Missouri. A quiet town. Wide roads. Familiar faces. 16-year-old Tyson Walker had grown up here. Basketball games on Friday nights. Part-time work after school. Dreams bigger than the town itself. That Tuesday evening felt ordinary. Too ordinary. Tyson finished his late shift at a neighborhood supply store. He clocked out, texted his mom, "I'm heading home." Those were the last words she ever received. When Tyson didn't arrive home, his parents tried calling. Once, twice, again, straight to voicemail. By midnight, worry turned into fear. By morning, fear became panic. His bike was still locked behind the store. His jacket folded neatly in the break room. Tyson had vanished. Local investigators moved fast. Search teams formed. Roads were checked. Security cameras reviewed. Nothing. No signs of a struggle. No witnesses with clear answers. Just questions. "This doesn't make sense," one officer said quietly. He didn't run away. Tyson's mother felt it deep inside. A silent knowing. Something was wrong. Before we go further, pause for a moment. If stories like this matter to you, if you believe every missing person deserves to be remembered, please take a second to like, subscribe, and share this video. It helps these stories reach more people. It helps keep hope alive. Now back to Riverbend. By day 3, the investigation slowed. Leads dried up. Whispers filled the town. Some said Tyson had left willingly. Others said it was an accident. But his parents didn't believe any of it. "He would never disappear without telling us," his father said. Never. Desperation changes people. That's when an unexpected suggestion surfaced. A family friend leaned in and spoke softly. "I know someone who sees things differently. A psychic." The word felt heavy, uncomfortable, almost embarrassing. Tyson's father hesitated. He trusted facts, evidence, logic. But this wasn't a case anymore. This was his son. "Call her," he finally said. Her name was Elena Cross. She didn't promise miracles. She didn't claim certainty. She asked for one thing. "Something he touched," she said. "And a photo." When Elena held the item, she went silent. Too silent. Then she whispered, "He's alive." Relief flooded the room. But it didn't last long. "There's fear around him," she continued. Confusion. And a road splitting into two. The parents exchanged looks. What did that even mean? Elena shook her head slowly. "I can't see everything yet. But time matters." That sentence stayed with them. Outside, the sun was setting. Another day gone. Another night approaching. The town slept. But Tyson's parents didn't. Neither did Elena. Because somewhere out there, a truth was waiting to surface. And the next clue would challenge everything investigators believed. Was Elena truly sensing Tyson's location? Or was hope playing tricks on a desperate family? And why did her next vision point investigators in a direction no one was prepared to follow? In part 2, an unexpected detail forces police to reconsider everything they thought they knew. Morning arrived quietly in Riverbend. Too quietly. Search teams regrouped. Maps were spread across tables. Coffee went cold. Nothing new. Investigators followed routine. Phone records. Camera angles. Witness statements. Still no Tyson. One officer finally said what everyone was thinking. "We're running in circles." That's when Elena called. Her voice was different. Lower. Careful. I need to speak to the family, she said. Now. Inside the Walker home, the air felt heavy. Elena stood near the window, eyes closed. I see movement, she said. A vehicle. Older. Not clean. She paused. And a place people don't visit unless they already know it's there. Tyson's mother whispered. Is he hurt? Elena didn't answer right away. He's scared, she finally said. But he's listening. Waiting. That word stuck. Waiting. Elena asked to visit the last place Tyson was seen, the supply store parking lot. Investigators weren't thrilled. One muttered, this isn't procedure. But there were no other leads. None. So they went. Elena stepped onto the pavement slowly, as if walking through memory. She stopped near the edge of the lot, turned left, then froze. It went this way, she said. Not the main road. The quieter one. An officer frowned. That road leads to nothing but old land and service paths. Elena looked at him. That's why. Silence followed. Back at headquarters, the suggestion caused tension. Some officers dismissed it immediately. Coincidence. Guesswork. Grief-driven hope. But one detail stood out. A traffic camera from 2 nights earlier. An old pickup. Briefly passing. Wrong time. Wrong direction. No plate. Just a shape. That evening, Elena called again. This is important, she said. I see water nearby. Not a river. Still water. A pause. And a choice being debated. What kind of choice? Tyson's father asked. Elena swallowed. One that changes everything. As night fell, the family sat together. Phones on. Lights on. Waiting. Tyson's mother stared at his empty chair. I feel like he's close, she said quietly. But far at the same time. Elena later admitted something she hadn't shared before. There's another presence, she said. Someone watching him. Not constant, but returning. That was new and unsettling. Police decided to act. Not because of belief, but because of pattern. They searched abandoned service areas near the quiet road. Sheds, old trailers, unused structures. Nothing. Until one officer noticed disturbed ground. Fresh marks. Recent. Then a sound. Faint. Metal shifting. Everyone froze. But it wasn't Tyson. Just wind. Hope rose. Then crashed. Hours later, Elena sent one final message. 3 words. Tomorrow changes things. No explanation. No comfort. Just that. That night, Tyson dreamed. At least that's what he would later say. He dreamed of voices arguing. Of a door opening. Then closing again. Somewhere between fear and realization. Something shifted. What did Elena mean by tomorrow? Why did investigators suddenly find signs that shouldn't exist? Unless someone wanted them to be seen? And was Tyson still waiting? Or was someone else running out of time? Part 3 reveals the moment a hidden truth begins to surface, and no one is ready for it. Morning didn't bring answers. It brought tension. The kind you feel before something breaks. At police headquarters, a junior analyst replayed footage again. And again. And again. That old pickup. Same blur. Same shadow. But this time, something was different. Stop, he said suddenly. The video froze. A reflection, barely visible. In the side mirror. A face. Not clear. Not sharp. But human. Alive. The room went silent. Enhance it, someone whispered. They tried. Didn't get clearer. But it didn't disappear either. For the first time since Tyson vanished, no one said the word impossible. Across town, Elena felt it before the phone rang. Pressure. Like air changing before a storm. She closed her eyes. Her voice when she spoke was calm. He moved, she said. Not far. But enough. Moved where? Tyson's mother asked. Elena hesitated. Closer to being seen. Investigators regrouped. A new search radius. Smaller. Tighter. The quiet road again. But this time further down, past the point most people ignored. An abandoned way station. Shut down years ago. Forgotten. Almost. They arrived just before dusk. Rust on the gates. Broken glass. Silence. Too much silence. One officer muttered, "I don't like this." They spread out. Slow. Careful. Then, a sound. 3 short knocks. Metal on metal. Not wind. Not chance. A signal. "Tyson," someone called out. No answer. Then another sound. Fainter. A scrape. The group followed it to a locked utility room. Padlock. Old. Recently handled. They broke it open. The room was empty. No person. No sign of a struggle. Just something taped to the wall. A note. One sentence. "I didn't mean for it to go this far." Back at the Walker house, Elena felt the shift. "He's not alone anymore," she said softly. "But not the way we feared." "What does that mean?" Tyson's father asked. "It means the truth is closer than he is." That night, Elena shared something she hadn't told anyone. "I don't think this started as a crime," she said. "I think it started as a mistake." Silence followed. A heavy realization. Mistakes can still destroy lives. Late that night, an anonymous call came in. No name, no number, just a message. "You're looking in the wrong place, but you're asking the right questions." The line went dead. Miles away, Tyson sat quietly, listening, thinking. He wasn't tied. He wasn't locked in. But he wasn't free either. Not yet. For the first time, he understood something terrifying. The person holding him wasn't evil. They were afraid. And fear makes people do dangerous things. Who left the note at the way station? Why did the voice on the phone sound familiar to investigators? And if this began as a mistake, what truth is powerful enough to end it? In Part 4, a silent realization changes the direction of the case and forces one person to make an impossible choice. The anonymous call wouldn't leave their minds. You're looking in the wrong place, but you're asking the right questions. Investigators replayed it again and again, not for the words, for the tone. Calm, controlled, not rushed. "This person isn't panicking," one officer said. "They're thinking." That was unsettling. Elena felt something else entirely. A weight, like someone standing at the edge of a decision. "He's being watched," she said, "but also protected." Tyson's mother looked up. Protected by who? Elena exhaled slowly. By someone who didn't plan to become this person. Investigators shifted focus. Not abandoned places. Not strangers. People connected. Close enough to care. Close enough to cross a line. They reviewed recent interactions. School. Work. Community. One name appeared twice. Then 3 times. Not suspicious. Just present. Too present. Meanwhile, Tyson sat on the floor of a small room. Not dark. Not locked. A chair. A window. A door that opened when permission was given. He had stopped asking questions. Instead, he listened. Footsteps outside. Pauses. Sighs. Regret sounds a certain way. Tyson could hear it now. That evening, Elena asked to speak privately with investigators. "There's something you're not seeing," she said. "This isn't about hiding him anymore." "Then what is it about?" an officer asked. "Control," she replied. "And guilt." She closed her eyes. "I feel someone rehearsing words, practicing what they'll say, over and over. Confession. Unspoken, but close." At the Walker home, the phone rang again. Same unknown line. This time the voice shook. "I didn't hurt him," the caller said quickly. "I swear." Tyson's father leaned forward. "Then let him go." Silence. "I don't know how," the voice replied. "Not without losing everything." That was the moment. The silent realization. This wasn't about escape. It was about consequences. Later that night, Tyson was offered food, water, a blanket. The person avoided eye contact. "I never meant for this," they said quietly. Tyson didn't respond right away. Then he asked one question. Are you going to let me go? The answer didn't come. Not yet. Elena sensed the shift instantly. The balance changed, she said. He asked the right question. What happens now? Tyson's mother whispered. Elena opened her eyes. Now the truth has to choose a side. Outside, a storm rolled in. Thunder in the distance. Pressure in the air. Somewhere between fear and courage. Someone was deciding who they would become next. Who is struggling with guilt strong enough to break this silence? What truth are they afraid to face? And when the moment finally comes, will doing the right thing cost them everything? In part 5, the line between protector and captor begins to blur, and the truth steps closer to the light. Rain fell steadily. Not heavy, not gentle, the kind that makes people think. Investigators waited, not at desks, not on roads. They waited on the truth. Because something had changed. The calls stopped. The movement stopped. Silence again. But this silence felt different. Elena sat alone, eyes closed. I don't see walls anymore, she said softly. I see hesitation. Tyson's mother clutched her hands. Hesitation is good, right? Elena nodded. Hesitation means fear is losing its grip. Tyson noticed it too. The way the door stayed open longer. The way footsteps slowed. The way the person finally spoke without anger. I keep telling myself this will end soon, the voice said. But I don't know how to end it. Tyson looked up. End it by telling the truth, he said. The words landed harder than expected. Back at headquarters, an officer pieced something together. The note, the voice, the timing. This person wants to be found, he said. But not arrested. Another officer replied, That's not how this works. No, the first said. But it explains everything. Elena made a decision. She asked investigators to let her speak if the caller returned. This isn't about directions anymore, she said. It's about permission. Permission to stop running. Permission to face what comes next. Late that night, the phone rang. Unknown number. Elena answered. You're tired, she said gently. I can feel it. Silence. Then breathing. I never wanted to scare him, the voice whispered. I just needed time. For what? Elena asked. To fix a mistake I can't fix. Tyson sat quietly as the storm eased outside. The person finally met his eyes. I thought if I kept you safe, it would balance what I did. Tyson understood then. This wasn't cruelty. It was denial. And denial can trap people just as tightly as fear. Elena spoke carefully into the phone. Keeping him isn't protection, she said. Letting him go is. A long pause. I don't get to walk away, do I? The voice asked. No, Elena replied. But you get to stop being this person. The call ended. No threats. No demands. Just one sentence before the line went dead. I'll make it right. What does making it right really mean when the damage is already done? Will fear finally give way to truth? And when the door finally opens, who will step out first, Tyson or the person who's been hiding from themselves? In part 6, a quiet decision leads to an unexpected release, and a truth no one saw coming. The night felt lighter. Not peaceful, but different. Like something had loosened its grip. Investigators received a final message. No caller ID. No threats. Just coordinates. And one line. Please don't make this loud. Elena closed her eyes the moment the message arrived. It's ending, she said. Not perfectly, but honestly. Tyson's mother pressed her hand to her mouth. Is he alive? Elena nodded. Yes, and awake. The location wasn't dramatic. No abandoned factory. No dark basement. Just a quiet access road. A maintenance shed near an old utility line. The kind of place people pass without noticing. They approached slowly. Lights low. Voices calm. No one wanted to scare the truth back into hiding. Inside the shed, Tyson sat on a crate. Not tied. Not restrained. Just waiting. When the door opened, he didn't jump. He looked up. Relief crossed his face before shock. His father reached him first. "You're okay," he said, voice breaking. "I've got you." Tyson nodded once. Tears came later. Behind them, another figure stood. Hands visible. Head lowered. "I'm not running," the person said quietly. "I just needed him safe first." No resistance. No excuses. Just exhaustion. The realization settled in. This had never been about escape. It had been about delay. As medics checked Tyson, an investigator asked gently, "Why didn't you hurt him?" The answer came slowly. "Because every day I planned to let him go. Tomorrow just felt easier." Silence followed. Tomorrow is how mistakes grow. Elena arrived after. She didn't say, "I told you so." She didn't smile. She simply looked at Tyson. "You listened," she said. "That's why this worked." Tyson frowned. Listen to what? To the moment fear started talking instead of shouting. Later, as dawn broke, Tyson sat wrapped in a blanket. Police lights faded into distance. His mother held his hand. Neither spoke. Some truths don't need words. An investigator spoke quietly to Elena. "You didn't lead us here," he said. "You slowed things down." Elena nodded. "When people feel hunted, they hide," she replied. "When they feel seen, they choose." Tyson would later say something surprising. "I never felt like he wanted to hurt me," he said. "I felt like he didn't know how to stop." That sentence stayed with everyone. A moral twist. Uncomfortable. Real. This began with a mistake and ended with a choice. What truth is still missing? Why did the person wait until the very end to let go? And what will Tyson discover when the full story finally comes out? In Part 7, the unexpected truth behind the disappearance is revealed, and it changes how everyone sees this case. The questions came later. Not during the rescue. Not in the hospital room. Later. When the noise faded. When relief settled. When people finally had space to think. Because something about the case didn't fit. Not cleanly. Not comfortably. Investigators reviewed everything again. The calls. The note. The timing. "This wasn't random," one officer said. "And it wasn't planned the way we thought." They sat with that. Then they looked deeper. The person who held Tyson hadn't chosen him by chance. They had known of him. Not personally. Not closely. But enough. Enough to make a mistake that spiraled. The truth came out slowly. In fragments. In pauses. In words that felt rehearsed and raw at the same time. "I thought he saw something," the person admitted quietly. "I panicked." "What kind of something?" an investigator asked. "Something that could destroy my life." Silence followed. Then the realization. Tyson had seen nothing. He had only been nearby. At the wrong moment. At the wrong time. Tyson listened from the hallway. Every sentence felt distant. Muted. "I wasn't supposed to keep him," the voice continued. "It was just meant to scare him away." That word again. Scare. Fear pretending to be control. Elena sat quietly during the interview. She didn't interrupt. She didn't guide. Later, someone asked her, "Did you know this already?" She shook her head. "No," she said. "But I felt the weight of a secret that didn't belong to him." The moral twist settled in. Tyson hadn't been taken for who he was. He had been taken for what someone imagined he knew. A crime born from assumption. From fear. From unchecked panic. Tyson spoke for the first time since hearing the truth. "So none of this was about me," he said quietly. No one answered. Because the answer was worse than yes or no. That night, Tyson sat alone. Lights dim. Hospital quiet. He stared at the ceiling. Not angry. Not relieved. Just aware. Sometimes survival doesn't come with closure. Sometimes it comes with understanding. Elena visited before leaving town. "You didn't disappear," she told him. "You were pulled into someone else's storm." Tyson nodded. "I know," he said. "And now I know what fear can do to people." That was the silent realization. If fear created this nightmare, what happens when that fear is finally exposed? Will justice bring peace, or more questions? And how does someone move forward after learning they were never the target? In Part 8, the aftermath begins, and Tyson faces a choice that will define who he becomes next. The town moved on. Slowly, quietly. People returned to routines. Stores reopened. Lights turned off at night like before. But for Tyson, nothing felt the same. He was home now. Same walls, same room, same window, yet everything looked unfamiliar. Survival does that. It changes the shape of ordinary things. Friends visited. Teachers called. Neighbors smiled too hard. "You're so strong," they said. "You're lucky." Tyson nodded politely. He didn't feel lucky. He felt awake. At night, sleep came in pieces. Short, uneven, not nightmares, not fear, just thoughts. Moments replaya. Pauses. Words left unsaid. The realization returned again and again. This didn't happen because of me. It happened because of fear. Elena called once before leaving the state. "You'll notice something strange," she said. "What's that?" Tyson asked. "People will want you to forget," she replied. But forgetting isn't healing. That stayed with him. Investigators closed the case publicly. Statements were made. Facts were shared. But some details stayed private. Not everything needed an audience. Justice moved forward. Quietly. Firmly. One afternoon, Tyson returned to the supply store. The manager froze when he walked in. "You don't have to be here," the man said gently. "I know," Tyson replied. "But I want to." He stood where everything changed. Not for closure. For clarity. Later that evening, Tyson spoke to his parents. "I don't want to be known for this," he said. "But I don't want to hide from it either." His father nodded. "That's strength," he said. Tyson wasn't sure. Felt more like responsibility. The moral twist settled deeper. Surviving wasn't the end of the story. Understanding was. Fear doesn't just hurt the victim. It traps everyone it touches. Tyson saw that now. Before sleeping, he wrote something down. One sentence. "Fear grows in silence." He didn't know why he wrote it. He just knew it mattered. Outside, the town lights dimmed. Life continued. But inside Tyson, something new formed. Not anger. Not fear. Awareness. What does someone do with awareness that deep? How do you live after seeing fear so clearly? And when the final truth is spoken, will it bring peace? Or one last unanswered question? In Part 9, a final revelation reframes the entire story and leaves everyone changed. The final truth didn't arrive with sirens, or headlines, or a courtroom moment. It arrived quietly. Weeks later, an investigator asked to speak with Tyson privately. Not urgent, not dramatic, just honest. "There's something you should know," he said. Tyson listened. He didn't interrupt. The person who took him had planned to turn themselves in sooner. Much sooner. But something stopped them. "What?" Tyson asked. The investigator paused. They were afraid of what the truth would do to someone else. That sentence landed slowly. The truth unfolded. The mistake that caused everything was already reported, already handled. Quietly. No one's life would have been destroyed. No secret exposed. The fear had been unnecessary. A storm created by imagination. Tyson closed his eyes. "So this all happened," he said softly, "because someone didn't ask one question." The investigator nodded. "Yes." That was the final realization. Fear doesn't wait for facts. Creates its own. And once it does, people act like there's no turning back. Elena later confirmed it. "I felt it," she said. "The fear didn't match the danger." "What do you mean?" Tyson asked. "I mean," she replied, "the truth was always survivable. The fear wasn't." Tyson sat alone that night. Not angry, not broken, just quiet. Understanding settled in. This story wasn't about psychics, or investigators, or even disappearance. It was about fear outrunning truth. He thought back to the moment he asked the question, "Are you going to let me go?" That question changed everything, because fear had to answer it. Tyson wrote one last sentence in his notebook. Asterisk, truth doesn't chase us. We have to slow down enough to meet it. Asterisk. He closed the book. Outside, the town slept peacefully. Inside, Tyson felt something new. Not closure, purpose. With the truth finally exposed, what remains? How does someone move forward knowing fear caused it all, and truth could have stopped it? In part 10, the story reaches its quiet ending. A moment of meaning, growth, and a final unexpected lesson that stays long after the case is closed. The case was officially closed. Paperwork filed. Statements archived. Evidence stored away. A name. A timeline. An explanation. But endings like this don't feel finished. They feel still. Tyson returned to school months later. Same hallways. Different walk. People noticed. Not because he talked about it, but because he didn't rush anymore. He listened more. Paused more. As if he understood something others didn't. One afternoon, a teacher asked gently, "Are you okay?" Tyson thought for a moment, then said, "I'm different, but I'm okay with that." That answer surprised him. Elena sent one final letter. Not a prediction, not advice, just a sentence. Fear is loud. Truth is patient. Tyson read it twice, then folded it carefully. Years later, people would still ask him questions. What was it like? Were you scared? Do you believe she helped? Tyson never gave the same answer twice. But sometimes he said this: "She didn't find me. She slowed everyone down enough to listen." That was the unexpected truth. The psychic wasn't the miracle. Neither were the investigators, nor the fear. The miracle was pause, a moment where fear stopped running. One evening, Tyson stood alone near the quiet road. Not for closure, not for memory, just to stand. The wind moved through the trees. Cars passed. Life continued. Nothing dramatic happened, and that felt right. He realized something then. The most dangerous part of the story wasn't the disappearance. It was how quickly fear convinced someone there was no way back. Fear told a lie, and everyone believed it. Tyson breathed in, then out. A silent realization settled. Survival isn't about escaping danger. It's about learning when fear is lying. Later, when asked what he learned, Tyson said one final thing. If someone had asked one honest question sooner, none of this would have happened. Silence followed, because everyone understood. The story didn't end with applause, or headlines, or celebration. It ended with awareness, and that stayed. Fear creates urgency. Truth requires patience. And sometimes the bravest thing anyone can do is stop and listen.